So here we are, episode 73 of Building a U-Shaped Business with Georgie and Patty. I am Georgie.
And I am Patty.
And this is going to be a very exciting show. I know you have a lot of information to share, especially for those of us who really want to, grow our business using our expertise, the things we're really good at, and how can we do this. A lot of this is about content marketing and sharing that. And how do we put it all together to do this in a way that lets people know who we are, what we do, without being salesy and gross. Starts to build relationships with people, give people examples of what we believe, and the things that we do. So yay, like I say, I know you've got a jam-packed slide deck for us today. So
I do.
Is very exciting.
Yes, this is very exciting. I'll share the deck in just a moment. If you're here with us live and you have questions, go right ahead. You can type them into the chat for us. If you're on Facebook, you can put them in there. And Georgie is amazing at managing to keep track of both spaces at once while I show some slides and talk away. So I'm going to get us going. Just
all right.
Let me pull up my fun slide deck. Oh, I see the green box of awesomeness. So
there it is.
Playing. Excellent. Hello and welcome. Our topic today, how to grow your business by sharing your expertise, otherwise known as content marketing. I'm excited about this, that of all of the things that we teach, I think that this might just be my favorite of everything. Because it's wonderful, because it turns marketing from something that's about convincing and persuading and manipulating and oh look at me self-promotion thing, and instead it allows you to make your marketing part of your mission. You can have positive impacts in the world just through your marketing. It's like alchemy. We change marketing from promotion and advertising into education and inspiration, which makes it easier to do, easier to show up. You get a more engaged kind of a response to it. It does all kinds of beautiful things for your business, and we're going to talk about that today with this topic. So we're going to start here with one of our favorite quotes that comes from Bob Burg, and I often forget to name him when I talk about know, like, and trust, because know, like, and trust is a core of what we teach here. When you sell coaching, consulting, wellness services, professional expertise services to individual clients, you have a relationship-based business, and you're looking to build know, like, and trust. Bob's quote, all things being equal, people do business with and refer business to people that they know, like, and trust. This doesn't matter so much when you run a gas station. Don't really, you don't have to build a close personal relationship with the owner of the gas station. When you're selling coaching and consulting, when you're selling your expertise, this stuff is critical. Just flip the statement around and it's the opposite. It's like, who wants to do business with people they don't like, don't know, and don't trust? Here's my little addendum to this, is things don't have to be equal. We sometimes get into this space where we look at the world and we assume that people are making a logical comparison between us and all of the other people who do what they do. But quite often, all they're considering is you, yes or no. So things don't have to be equal. It's like, if you have ever lost a client or a contract to somebody who was less talented, less experienced, less knowledgeable, less capable, because the person who was hiring that for that contract knew the person that they hired, had a previous relationship with, was related to, is a friend. This is how the world works. It runs on relationships. Georgie will be talking about relationships in future episodes. I'm going to talk about the expertise side of this, but that's really, when we look at, if we could sum up our advice for coaches, consultants, expert service providers, it's going to be about building strong relationships and demonstrating your expertise. That's it. Like, if you can do those two things, show that you're competent at helping people and develop a good relationship with them, it's like there's the magic formula for your business. You can toss everything else out. Those two things alone, it's going to do it for you. So today we're going to talk about that expertise part of it. And here's your permission slip of the day. Shine your light. Show people what you can do. Show up and talk about your expertise. Talk about how you help. Let people know that that you can do what you can do, that you can help them. And one of the things that, one of the many, many things I love about content marketing is it makes this easier. It makes this easier because as much as it's your light, you're shining the light on your future clients and you're shining your light on what you do. It's not so much shining the light on you, oh, look at me, I'm so amazing. It's more like, hey, look at how I can help you. Like, here's something that's useful and valuable for you, okay? So permission to shine your light. Show up. Show us what you can do. We want to know. All right. So slides, yes. Okay. So content marketing, and I'm going to use that blanket term content marketing, and just so that we're all on the same page about what I mean by that when I say it, is I'm talking about marketing that is about sharing your expertise. So when we think about kind of the mechanics of content marketing, how we do that, it's going to look like things like writing. So if you write a blog, if you publish articles, you can put articles on LinkedIn, you can put articles on Medium, you can put articles out on other people's blogs or publications so you can get written up somewhere. Doesn't even have to be online. I've had clients that have gotten articles published in like industry journals, something like that. It's PDF documents. It's putting your expertise into some form of writing. It's books. You can write a book. That falls under my personal definition of content marketing, putting your stuff out into the world in some written form or some video form. Right now, Georgie and I are engaged in content marketing. Putting ourselves out on video, you can do this live, you can do this via webinar, you can record it on your phone and upload it to social media, however you want to create it. But video is another piece of the mechanics of getting it out there. You can do it on audio. You could do a podcast. You could do your own podcast. You could be a guest on other people's podcasts. You could be interviewed. Sharing your expertise with the world in a variety of formats. And if you're graphically inclined, it could be through images. We talk about models and metaphors and circles and triangles and boxes and Venn diagrams. You can turn that stuff into images. You can share it through infographics. You can make slide decks like we do on PowerPoint. You can share these online. So any way that you can get your information out into the world falls under my definition of content marketing. And I think that this matches most people's definition of content marketing. I take it one teeny tiny little step further in that you can do the same thing in person with people. So although it might not be technically content marketing when we look at that as being an online thing, showing up and doing presentations, doing speaking events where we're allowed to get people together, taking that 2 minutes you have to introduce yourself at a networking event and dropping some information rather than doing the blah, blah, blah elevator pitch. Anytime you have a chance to stand up and say something about your expertise, you could do this in a coffee conversation, really, right? It's just about how you take your expertise and put it out into the world. So that's kind of the overall umbrella of what we're talking about here today. So to put this into context about where this fits in your overall marketing system, your marketing strategy, we have mapped out a path between never heard of you before to paid client. This is the entirety of your sales and marketing system. This is the system that we advocate for in our business. This is our, our bridge funnel formula. It starts with, step one is you need to get in front of new people. People need to know that you exist before they can possibly buy from you. And this is where, when we think about marketing, this is where most of our brains go. How do I get in front of new people? How do I get out there? So that's the first step, is to do something to get in front of new people. The second step is to educate and to build a know, like, and trust. That's what we're talking about today. This is the second step. They know you exist. They're interested in what you have to say. And now it's about that relationship building. How do we build some know, like, and trust? How do we educate them? Marketing is education. You're teaching people how you can help, why they should buy from you rather than somebody else. It's very much an education kind of a process. And the third step is your sales conversation. Is they have enough information about you that they're willing to enter a sales conversation. And if you've heard us talk about our bridge assessment methodology, what's beautiful about it is it actually spans 2 and 3 in this system. You can do a bridge assessment with somebody that doesn't know you yet, if they're willing to have that conversation with you. And it just really nicely segues into a sales conversation. So what we're talking about today with the content marketing is kind of filling in the gaps for the people who are not necessarily willing to have a one-on-one conversation with you. This is about kind of warming people up before they'll accept that appointment. Some people will jump right in and they'll say, yeah, let's talk. And other people will be like, not yet. So that's where the content marketing falls into place here. So you'll see that there are 3 things that you do in your sales and marketing system. Get in front of new people, educate, build know, like, and trust, have the sales conversation. There are 2 places in here where your future clients can raise their hand and say, yeah, I'm interested in going to the next stage with you. And the first one here is in between, you got their attention and you haven't quite entered the know, like, and trust zone yet, is where they are willing to give you their contact information. So they're saying, yeah, I'm interested enough, let's keep in touch. So this is your email list. This is a Facebook community. This is somebody that connects to you through social media. If you know who they are, if they've made themselves clear, they're saying, hey, here I am, then they've done this. They've reached out to you in some way to say, yeah, let's connect. That's early on in the process. And then the second piece is, yeah, okay, let's book an appointment to talk. So this is the overall system. These are the pieces. 3 things that you do, 2 things that your future clients can do. And here's where content marketing fits into this. Primarily, it is a building know, like, and trust and education kind of a place. So your content marketing is the stuff that you share on your newsletter. It's the stuff you share on your blog. If you have a Facebook community or you're sharing things through social media, the people that have already connected to you will see the information that you're putting out. So primarily, you're creating this stuff for the people that are already leaning in a little bit. Okay, but it also extends backwards a little bit here, is that you can use sort of the juiciest piece of your content marketing to create an opt-in offer, or to encourage people to join a community or to subscribe to your newsletter, to say, okay, in exchange for joining my newsletter, you get all of this awesome stuff. Okay, and you can also use this stuff right here in the beginning with the getting in front of people through social sharing. You share it and someone else shares it to their audience. All of a sudden you're getting in front of new people. You created the stuff for your people, but someone else shared it and their people become aware of it. Advertising, boosting a post, posting something on social media and then paying to have it put in front of new people. That works too. Putting your content out in front of someone else's audience. So getting published in someone else's publication or on their blog or website, being a guest on somebody's podcast or video interview, something like that. There's your opportunity to get in front of new people. Okay, so this is where content marketing fits into your sales and marketing system. And of course, sales conversation and book onto your calendar is nicely covered by the bridge assessment. If you have one, and if you don't, we've got you can opt into our list and we'll tell you all about it. So content marketing builds know, like, and trust. This is really what you want to be doing with your content marketing, where you're sharing your expertise. So it builds know in that it lets people know that you exist. And when you engage in content marketing on a regular basis, you keep showing up, people keep seeing your face, and they start to feel like they know you. If you've ever done presentations or public speaking for your business, you'll have experienced this situation where people come up and talk to you like they know you, and you have never met them before. And it's because they've heard you speak before, or they've followed your blog, or they've listened to you in your videos. It takes a little getting used to, but people feel like they have a relationship with you because they've seen you. We have, this is episode 73 of us showing up for an hour. This is, we're going into 73 hours of content, and we know that we've got people that have been binging on our stuff. It's like they really feel like they know us because they've seen us a lot. They've heard us talk, right? So it starts to build that relationship. Like, you show your personality. People will like you or they won't like you. You'll be demonstrating your values when you show up. Recommend it. Your point of view. What do you believe about the business and about where you stand? I strongly recommend taking a stand. What do you believe in? What is your angle with this? Ours is about marketing, is about relationships and sharing your expertise. It's about, if you've got something of value, you make it easy for people to buy. You don't have to persuade and manipulate and convince and convert and pressure or do any of that shit that that most of us don't want to do. And you don't have to do that. That's our point of view and our perspective on how marketing works. And people who don't agree with it and don't like it don't stick around, and that's great. Talk more about that in a moment. And trust. When you focus your content marketing on demonstrating what you know, helping people get smarter, giving them advice and information and useful stuff to help them, that positions you as an expert. You become known as somebody who talks about this stuff and knows what they're talking about. So that's what develops the trust. So here's what your content marketing kind of looks like. There's lots of leeway in here for how you want to do it, but you want to put out some substantial pieces of content on a weekly basis, right? These are the longer articles, the longer videos, maybe a webinar, and it might be weekly. It's going to depend on your schedule. For those of you that are doing kind of a side hustle business, wanting to get something up and running before leaving a regular job, weekly might be a stretch depending on what you've got going on, but twice a month then, right? But to put something out a little bit longer, a little bit more substantial on a regular basis, and to have some shorter pieces. And this is that kind of your social media. And you post to social media daily, multiple times a day, at least a couple of times a week, like letting people know that, hey, I'm here, right? And having that opt-in gift, this is an optional piece, really, but having something that's even more substantial in exchange for an email address or in exchange for bringing people into your community. You can have something like that, and that's going to be, like, for example, our opt-in gift is a 2-hour training on how to get coaching and consulting clients without pushing marketing tactics. And we just go into like the whole from A to B, basically, of what we believe in about clients, about how to reach them, about how to set up a bridge assessment, all of that stuff. We give that away as an opt-in gift. It's a 2-hour training. And in exchange for that training, we get an email address so that we can continue to stay in touch alternately, you can get you can join our Facebook group, right? And so these are kind of the list building, community building things that you can offer. You can also have a list or a group without even offering an opt-in gift. That might accelerate getting people into your list or your group. It's not 100% necessary, but basically this is the content marketing plan, right? Like, here's something substantial, here's some little tidbits, and hey, if you want more of this, if you want me to send you that weekly blog post or that weekly video, if you want to be on my social media so that you get all of this information on an ongoing basis, here's a way to connect. Okay, that's kind of how that looks. Here's what it's not, and this is important when we're thinking about the kind of content that we're sharing. This is what it's not. It's not advertising. I don't know how many clients I've had where I talk about, writing a blog post, and what I get that people is like 10 reasons why you should hire me as a coach. Why you need to invest in yourself now, and it's all buy my thing, sign up for my program, and it's got content that's really more of a sales promotion kind of a piece. Not talking about that. This is not it's not another way to put out an ad. It's not put out a long ad once a week and short ads every day. That's not what it's about. It's not about buy my thing, and it's not always sign up for my thing. So this is like a generous act of providing something useful. It's also not photos of your lunch. Like it's not really about you. And I'm not saying you can't do this. It's just you can't call it marketing. That's all. Your social media and how you engage with people can be a nice mix of stuff. But what I'm talking about for this is kind of like the backbone of your content. It's the spine. It's it's actual marketing stuff. It's strategic. It's well thought out. You can do other stuff for engagement and to build relationships and stuff like that. But what I'm talking about right here is about sharing expertise. And it's not just sharing stuff from other people without adding to it. Sharing other people's stuff can be awesome, but if you're going to do that, comment, have a little bit of feedback, add something to, tell people why you're sharing it, why you believe it matters, why it's important to them, how they can use it. Add to, say, this is great, shares 5 things that you need to do in order to become happier. I would add to that list number 6 and number 7. Like, add to it, put in your own stuff. It's not just, hey, Seth Godin has something amazing to say today, and I'm just going to share Seth Godin's post every day. Okay, so you really want to add to it, even disagree with it, because this is about putting you out, your perspective, where you come from, out there. So share your expertise. What do I mean by that? I mean information. Give people some information that they don't already know. Good information, by the way. I'm going to talk about that in a moment too. Share some advice, some tips, educational kind of stuff, ideas, inspiration. Tell some stories. Tell some, before and after stories. You can take situations that you've worked with clients, kind of like, it's possible. Here's a before and after kind of a thing. So there's this expertise. What you can give people some hope and some inspiration and some positive kind of feedback. It's like yeah, you can do it. Kind of a cheerleader sort of an angle to it, and but also like solid education. Help them. Demonstrate that you can help people by actually helping them. So here's our objection of the day is when I talk about this is I often get feedback that sounds like this. People have the attention span of a goldfish. They won't read or watch long content. You will hear this from a lot of people who are saying, you can't post a video that's more than 90 seconds long. 2 sentences. You don't get any more than that. These are the people you should ignore. Because here's the thing, like seriously, people have the attention of the goldfish. First of all, that's kind of dehumanizing and really insulting, and also it's not true, right? Because these same people who have the attention span of a goldfish will binge watch Netflix, right? Okay, it's people won't read or watch long content that bores them. This is the key here. Is you can't be boring. Okay, and by boring or exciting or whatever, what I mean by that is it has to be interesting to them. If this is not about being entertaining or being humorous or anything like that. Although if you can do that, that's great. But what you really want to do is you want to talk about what they're interested in, right? It's about them. It's not about you. We can bore people to death talking about ourselves. You know, we can definitely bore people to death by talking about why they should buy our thing. Oh. So the other thing about this, like when you think about what's boring and what's not, a lot of times this advice is coming from this perspective of you're writing for people, the general population of all people, everywhere, anywhere, and you're not. And one of the biggest mistakes, problems, traps, holes, ditches that people fall into with content marketing is writing to the wrong people or creating content for the wrong people. Often when we think about who we're writing for, we'll ask people, it's like, okay, when you're going to go and post something on social media, who do you have in your mind that is going to read it? And they're like, well, the critics and the skeptics, and my ninth grade English teacher gave me an F because my grammar wasn't very good, right? They tend to think about who's going to object to it. They're thinking about trolls who are going to disagree with them, right? You're not writing for those people. You're not writing for colleagues. You're not writing for your competitors. You're not writing for people who disagree with you. You're not writing for people that don't like you. Push all of those people out of the way. That it's not for them. It is for two groups of people. The first one being your future clients. Hold your future clients in mind when you write your content. Think about the clients you're working with now. Hold one of them in mind when you write your content or create your content. What's going to be helpful and useful for them? This presentation right now is helpful and useful for our current clients, and it's going to be helpful and useful to our future clients, right? And these, when you think about future clients, here's what we know about future clients. Future clients will buy from you. That's what we know. They're not future clients unless they're going to buy from you. So they want to hear from you. They want to know about what you're doing. They want to know about your offers. They want all of that kind of stuff. They need your help. What you share with them is going to be relevant to their interests. It's going to help them move forward, right? So you're writing for your future clients that like 100% focused on this. And the other group of people who will benefit from your content are supporters, people who cheer you on, colleagues that want to support you, people who won't buy from you, but are benefiting from the information you put out into the world, right? These are people who can refer you. I've gotten referrals from people who think what I do is great because they see me show up and talk about it, but they've never actually worked with me. It's just, wow, what you share is great, and I'm telling people about it. So these are your supporters, right? So they're also want to hear from you. They might not buy from you, but they also want to hear from you. And this is the ripple impact of your business. You can be helping people out without even knowing it. They're just taking in your content, learning and benefiting from it, and that's great. And it's a lovely little ripple effect. But everyone else, ignore them. Ignore them. They don't exist. You're just writing for these people. So what this means, A, always remember your future clients want to hear from you, including your offers, including telling them that you have something to sell them, because they can't become future clients unless you do that for them. That's part of your relationship. It's part of your contract. You have to let them know that they have something that you can buy so that they can become a future client. They're waiting for you, right? Just embrace this attitude. Your future clients are out there and they're waiting for you, okay? And your supporters won't mind if you promote stuff. And I was thinking about this over the past weekend. I subscribe to a lot of newsletters, and there are newsletters, content that I'm taking in from people that I buy from. Some of them I've spent a lot of money buying from, and others I won't buy from them. It's just I really like them. I like what they have to say, but I don't need the services that they are offering. When those people like go into launch mode or something like that, and they start sending out a lot of marketing messages like, you know, buy my stuff, I'm fine with it. I'm like, yay you, I really want you to make a good living doing this because I love getting your newsletter and I still want to read it, right? And I am totally okay with the fact that they market themselves, and I think that that's awesome, okay? So your supporters won't mind that you do a little marketing with your content. They won't mind. And what this also does is that people who unsubscribe from your list or unfollow you on social media or something like that, that is also when that happens, because you don't want to put your message out to people who don't want it. This isn't about convincing and persuading and manipulating or anything else. It's not trying to make everyone happy. So if they're not a future client and they're not a supporter, then they need to move on. If they need help, they need to get it from the people that they are destined to work with. So this is just a lovely little sorting out, and it keeps the group of people that you're sending your stuff out to, you know that they're positive, you know that they're on your side, right? So if there's nothing you take away from today except this will change everything about your marketing if you really embrace it. If you embrace the idea that you got future clients out there, if you're at all hesitant about putting your stuff out there, really believing this is going to make a difference. And along this, vanity metrics cost time and money. This is something that I'm learning from a fellow named George Cow. I'm taking a Facebook advertising course from him. And basically, and when I say vanity metrics is the number of subscribers you have, the number of followers you have, the number of people who like your Facebook group. Vanity metrics are, you know, how many people subscribe to your YouTube channel. Oh, I got 25,000 people on my list. It's like where you're trying to drive up the number just to make it look impressive. This costs a lot of time because we end up doing things for this that don't really pay off for the business. Things like, and these are examples I got from George, asking your friends to like your business page, going on to social media groups and participating in like ladders and stuff like that. I'll like your page if you like my page. It might drive up the number of people on your page, but as he points out, then when you go to advertise, you're going to spend more for the advertising because you're reaching people who aren't interested. You're getting numbers, but they aren't really future clients, and they're not supporters. They're not within those circles. They're others. And those others might be hostile. You don't even know, right? Like, but they're not, but they're taking up time. You get a list to a certain size, and it's going to cost a lot of money just to maintain that email list, right? You have thousands of followers on social media that aren't really potential future clients. When you go to advertise to that list, it's going to cost you more money to reach people who aren't interested. So going after these vanity metrics is like, you would rather have a really great list of 100 people who are your future clients, who will read every word that you say and will buy from you, than to have 100,000 people who are completely disinterested. One will impress people and the other will make you a living, right? So, you know, when you think about the number of clients that you need, like Georgie and I work with people who need a small number of clients. Like, they need 10 clients, 20 clients, 50 clients, maybe 100. Those are small numbers. You don't need an email list of 5,000 to get yourself 100 clients, right? It's a small list is fine. A small list of engaged people, your future clients, positive supporters. That's it. You don't need all this other stuff. And you can spend tons of time and money chasing this stuff, and it's meaningless. So here's when we talk about what are people interested in, who are your people, okay? There's you, and then there's your future clients, okay? They have problems and desires. You have expertise. Content marketing, effective content marketing is in this overlap. You're helping them solve a problem that they have, or helping them get something that they don't have. This is where the magic happens, is right in here is where you're making this little bridge. We talk about bridges a lot. You're making this little bridge between what they want and what you do. So it lives here. Now, two things that you'll see a lot that don't work. If you go too far over to this side in your expertise and you want to teach everything that you know, you end up speaking to people who do what you do. You're talking about the details of the particular modality that you work in, and your colleagues think that the article you wrote was awesome, and your potential clients don't get it. Okay? People often want to slip into their expertise. I do this too. I understand it. We want to talk about the stuff that we're good at. We want to talk about the stuff that really lights us up. And it is expertise, and we are sharing it, and it's valuable. But if the people who are reading it don't know what to do with it, they're not interested. They're not going to be interested in what you do or how you do it until they know that it's going to help them. So the other place to go is way over here in this kind of empty clickbait sort of articles, and you've probably clicked on one of these where it promises to solve your problem or help you achieve something, and then it's some vacuous post that says nothing, but the headline was really awesome and you clicked it and it says nothing, or it's an ad. It promises something, and then it's like, oh yeah, you can get this, but you have to pay for it. So you want to go in this middle place where you're providing solid information to help your clients. And in terms of structuring what you would, how you'd create a piece of content, it's ABC formula. This has been around for a while. It's the same formula I teach for copywriting for writing sales pages. It's very similar kind of a process, starting with attention. And the attention is the headline. It's the boldest part. It's the title of your video. It's the most obvious piece of whatever it is that you're sharing. You need to get their attention. And you get the attention of your future clients by talking about their problems or what they want, because that's how you get their attention in relation to what you do. So this is the attention part. Then there's the body part. This is the part where you meet the expertise. This is where you share something helpful, beneficial. This is the meatiness of the piece of content that you're sharing. And then the final piece is the call to action. What do you want them to do next? This could be advice, go and try this. This could be want more of this, sign up for my list. It could be want more of this, subscribe, get this another piece of awesome content here. It's this is final piece here. So that's the marketing piece. That's what's getting them moving forward through your marketing system. So this is David Ogilvy, Mad Men era marketing advertising guru. Love this guy. Says, on the average, 5 times as many people read the headline as read the body copy. When you've written your headline, you've spent 80 cents out of your dollar. The headline, that attention piece, is the most important. If the headline doesn't work, if it doesn't attract attention, people will leave. Like, it is the most important part of it, because they can't read the rest of your amazing stuff if they just pass it by, if they just scroll past it in the stream, or they delete the email that comes in. Think about this. If you've ever gone to a website and you want to look, read something on, click over to the blog, and you see maybe tiles of content or a list of blog posts. It's like we're looking at the headline, we're looking for the subject, the title, to see, okay, what's interesting to us. This is what we do. We scan and we're like, should I look at this? Is this something for me? And it's your headline, subject line, title that does that. And to flash up this little diagram again, when you're looking at this ABC, the headline is over here. It's their problem or their desire. It's what they want. Like it's really weighted towards that. You don't bring your expertise into the headline. You're fully focused on the person who's reading it. So your headlines are going to be focused on what they want. That's what grabs people's attention. I have this problem, I want to get past it. So these are the things that grab people's attention. The body of your article is going to be where you bring in your expertise. This is where your expertise meets their problem, and you provide something that's helpful and useful to them. And then your call to action is, hey, get more of my expertise over here. Get some more stuff. So this is a format. It's fairly simple. And now let's talk about this line between what you give away, because you'd be like, oh man, Patty, that sounds like you're giving away a lot of good stuff. What's left to sell? One of my favorite quotes from a businessman named Derek Sivers, who said, if more information was the answer, we'd all be billionaires with perfect abs. This presentation, everything that Georgie and I talk about, is always geared towards professional service providers, coaches, consultants, experts, wellness professionals who do actual work with their clients, whether they're doing it one-on-one, whether they're doing it in a group. And that's about implementation. It's about making the changes. It's about providing support and providing feedback and helping people actually take that information, apply it to their situation, and do something with it. So for us, we're like, information is fair game. If they can Google it, you can share it. The stuff that we share is shared by a zillion other people. There must be 11 billion free webinars every day. You can get information cheap. You can get it in a book. If you're not in the business of selling information, digital products and downloads and all of that stuff, if you actually work with clients, you have a lot of leeway in terms of what you can give away. And the more you give away, the better. Because when you give away that information, that's what shows clients that you know what you're talking about and you can help them. So that's kind of the line between the fee and the free. As long as you're performing some kind of a service with your client, providing something, you don't have to withhold information. You can share all kinds of stuff. I built my business doing cheap workshops, like $20 workshops, and I would answer every question in the room. I held back nothing. It works great. I demonstrate that can be helpful by being helpful, and then the people who want more will pay for more. That's how this all works. So some final tips before we wrap up here. Know, like, and trust. Be you. Write like you. Be authentic. And write like you, speak like you, do things in your way. Like Georgie and I were talking about that yesterday, about how we show up and just like kind of bob around and whatever. It's like, that's who I am. This is who I am. This is what I look like. This is what I talk like. If people don't like it, they can go away, right? It's like, be you. You don't want people to be surprised when they meet you. And this is one of the issues with outsourcing stuff, getting someone else to create content for you, is they don't sound like you. You want your content to sound like you, so that when you get together with people, in a sales conversation, it's the same. Like, you book a call to talk to me and Georgie, it's the same background, right? Like, it's just like this, except there's 3 pictures in the camera, right? Like, it's just, yeah, so write like you. And this means you don't have to be perfect. This isn't about getting an A on the paper. It's not being perfect grammar, perfect structure, or anything like that. This is about being authentic and connecting with people. Reuse, repurpose, refresh. This sounds like a lot, but here's the thing. I heard this quote years ago, and I wish I could remember who said it, but it's lovely. 99% of the people who will visit your website have not been there yet. I'll give you a second for that to sink in. 99% of the people who visit your social media haven't been there yet. Just because you published something a year ago does not mean that anyone's going to remember it. They may not have seen it last time. They could probably do with a reminder. So write some good quality content and reuse it, repurpose it. Turn your video into an article. Turn your webinar into a video, into a blog post. Publish your slides somewhere, create some images, use the same content in multiple formats and refresh it. Pull up the post from a year ago, update it, republish it under a new date. Like, just continue to leverage what you put out in the past and experiment. This is something else I learned from George Cow, is just put your stuff out there. It doesn't have to be fully formed. Just start, just share stuff, get some feedback, get some engagement, leave some gaps in what you're saying so that other people can fill it in or ask you some questions. And what you will find as you do this over time is you'll find kind of your broken records. And these are your core messages. These are the things that you say over and over and over and over again. And do that. Say it over and over and over again. That's what you become known for. And also, when you look at the stuff you put out, it's a body of work. And it's like a bell curve. You're going to have some greatest hits. If you publish 100 pieces of content, you're going to have 5 that were super awesome. You're going to have 5 that you're probably going to unpublish because you're like, ooh, that was not very good. And the rest are going to be somewhere in the middle. So it's about consistency and putting stuff out. They're not all going to be awesome. And that's okay, right? And the other thing, what you think is the greatest hit and what your audience thinks is the greatest hit are often really different. I'm sometimes surprised at what people take away from presentations. I'm like, really? That's what you found most valuable? Man, I thought it was this other thing. So there we go. We have 11 minutes for comments, questions, and stuff.
Woohoo! We did have a question here. I'm going to go back and find it. Da, 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 da. Okay. Actually, there's 2. One, I'm curious as to approximately how many unique individuals have viewed at least one episode of your shows. I have no freaking idea. Is the answer to that. Is it good to include some side interest in content marketing to build, like, for example, animal people sharing animal stuff makes me like those people more, or should that not be part of the plan?
I like to look at what I suggested today as kind of like, this is like the backbone of the plan. This is like when we look at the marketing system, this is the marketing stuff. This is the super serious marketing stuff, right? Start here. And it's kind of like if you were to look at like a Christmas tree. This is the trunk of the Christmas tree and some, the branches. Like, this is a solid kind of piece. All that other stuff, ornaments. Hang them all over the place. That's great. And make your pets earn their kibble, right? Like, animals, kids, that kind of stuff really gets a lot of attention. You can do this. This too, though, is something I learned from George Cow, is be careful of this, because we often think, oh, all people want to see is my cat, or my people respond to the cat, or something like that. And it is like, if you do too much of that in your marketing, you'll get people who will like and engage because they like the picture, but they don't really like what you're saying. So that was like kind of a unique twist. I'm like, oh, interesting. But yeah, in terms of building that know, like, and trust, for sure. And especially, part of this is going to depend on your business too, right? So if you're in the kind of business where you're the leader and you're like, okay, I've been through this, and other people can come along for the ride. Let me show you the way. Sharing what you're doing and the goals that you're after and all of that, that's good stuff too. It's inspiring for people to see that you're doing the thing that you're leading them on. So it's very much dependent on your business and what works for you and for your audience and for what you're building. So I'm not saying cut that stuff out entirely. Just it's you know, it's ornaments, it's dessert. It's not the core.
Yeah, it's interesting too sometimes how some of those things sort of show up. Like I think about our show and how we show up, and now this thing about cake has shown up. You know, so some of these things just kind of naturally occur where you kind of start sharing stuff about yourself, and people get to know kind of, I guess, the personal side of you a little more, and it's kind of in this organic sort of yeah, it's an organic thing. It's not like we set out and go, you know what, I think we should talk about cake. I think we should bring cake into this show.
Yeah, you know, it just it um sharing the personal stuff is great because it builds that known like piece, right? Like you want, like, you know, it's icing on the cake, right?
Totally.
But you want the main cake to be the expertise, and the rest is embellishment. And you don't have to share everything. Like you can choose pieces of your life that you're going to share.
Exactly.
Right? Some people are more open books than others. Right? But what you don't want to do is go into this train wreck scenario where you're sharing pain and grief that you're going through, stuff you haven't processed yet, talking a lot about, you know, that's the kind of stuff that can get eyeballs, but it doesn't engender trust. You'll have people feeling sorry for you. So you don't want to go into that kind of area of it. You don't want to make it just like, you know, you're a personality and everyone else's best friend and stuff like that. Like that's not going to move the needle for your business. Like this is me being strategic here, right?
It's so true. You know, I heard someone say they're like, it's about sharing what's appropriate for your audience and where you're at. And then as far as when we're going through stuff, this other lady, she was saying, never share it when you're still in the middle of it. That's an inappropriate place to share for your business, right? You want to wait till, like, say you're on the other side, you know what the learnings are, and then is any of that even appropriate to your business and what you do and your level of expertise? So it's really knowing those things is important for like you say, for moving the needle on your business.
Yeah,
and critical. Let's see what else we have here. Oh, someone's going to reach out for a 30-minute consultation. Woohoo!
awesome.
I'm not sure we can do it in 30 minutes, but we'll do our best. Maybe about 45. Yeah, letting things develop organically. And I think it really is about being you, right? Everything we talk about, right, is being this you-shaped business. So who are you? What's comfortable for you? And bringing all of the elements of you into this while using the strategy and, you know, thinking about it. We do talk a lot about, you know, using your brain, being discerning when we're making decisions. And that goes with what you're sharing as well. Is think for yourself. I'm a big fan of that.
Yeah.
I feel like it's one of my broken records. Just think, like, use this for yourself. It's really awesome. I know we all have amazing brains, and I really, really do believe that we do know for ourselves if we'll just take that time to step back and be like, okay, what's happening here? What's real? All of those kinds of things. Like, it really is a good idea to kind of slow down and use your brain for yourself. Question, are you planning an additional content marketing workshop besides the one this coming weekend?
Oh, sure. Bring up something kind of embarrassing.
Perfect.
So yeah, well, it's kind of perfect. It's also kind of embarrassing because we had planned this particular broadcast to be in support of promoting the content marketing and planning and get her done day that's happening on Saturday. However, we are kind of waitlisted for that right now. So the class is full. If you're interested in attending, you can shoot us an email. We're waiting for a couple of people that we're holding seats for that haven't confirmed yet. So there is a possibility that we might have an opening, but that's taking place on Saturday. And if we have enough people that are interested in this, we'll schedule another one. But really what what this workshop is about is kind of eliminating the what do I post with a detailed plan. It's like actually taking the stuff we talked about today and doing it. It's a butt in the chair. It's not me yap, yap, yap. I'm doing the yap, yap, yap today. Feedback, discussion, questions, getting it done for you on Saturday. Titles and templates. 80% of your marketing buck, we're going to work titles, what to say, and templates to make the writing easy, and basically, yeah, sit your butt in a chair and get it done. So that's what we're planning for this Saturday. Create the plan, create the titles and topics and all of that. And if you're interested in that, it's on our website, ushapebusiness.com. You can shoot us an email and let us know. And if a seat opens up, we can let you know. If you happen to be here as one of the people who tentatively raised their hand to book in, we'd appreciate if you could let us know sooner rather than later about that. So
Perfect.
That's our, yeah, as it sits right now, we are not planning on running another one of those this year. However, if there's enough interest, we can do something.
Exactly. All right, 2 minutes. Final chance for questions or comments before we wrap this episode up for the week. Then we'll be back next week, of course. And then for those that are in our workshop, we will, of course, see you Saturday too. All right, looks like, oh, great job. Awesome. Thank you. Perfect. I think you can bring it home. Oh, hang on. Looking forward to Saturday's workshop. What is the timing on Saturday?
9:30 till 3:30. Super intense.
Exactly. Yes, and for those who have registered, Patty will be sending out
sending out stuff
link and all that good stuff. Link, homework, da.
Exactly.
Yeah. Perfect. Looking forward to it. Yes, specific time. Yes.
Thank you.
Exactly.
All right. With that, we'll wish you a wonderful rest of your week, and we'll be back next Wednesday, same bat time, same bat channel, for another exciting workshop, except this time it's Georgie's turn to do the talking.
Woohoo! That's right. Yay!
All right.
We'll see you next week.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.